Well, it's hard to believe this is my final log before we launch. I go into quarantine in 3 hours. But the past 8 years, 8 years gone, consumed. This project has been my life since, well, forever. I know I've said it before, but the whole time I've been working as part of this team, I felt like one of those early space pioneers. The people that flew those machines helped build those machines. To fly this thing, I think you have to know every single system, every conduit and weld. I know I'm not supposed to be sentimental in these diaries, but I don't think I can talk about anything at this point without some kind of emotion. I've spent the last 8 years saying goodbye to everything and everyone I know. I still can't quite believe that I will never see anyone I leave behind again. Ever. 8 years really isn't long enough to get used to that. But it's the sacrifice. They will all grow old and die before I age a day. Time dilation and the hexagon casket will ensure that. They will never know what we find out there. They will never know if we live or... well, I guess we all end up in the same place, eventually. I've been called hard and uncaring, we all have. But it's the opposite, it's an absolute. I don't think anyone could do this if they didn't care. I wish I didn't care sometimes, it would be easier. So, we launch in 2 weeks. I have been in contact with my mother and sister, and will be able to converse for a month or so before we reach the red zone and we go hyper. After that, it's lights out. I still have moments where I can barely get my head around the science, but it's the goal that really perplexes me. It's just the thought of the place we're heading. A perfect void. A place where no light, no redshift, no infrared, nothing. Not even a blip of background radiation can be detected. I have attended every briefing on the void that I could get to, in person or by remote. I have looked at all the charts and the deep sky images, the tracking data. None of it makes sense. Even the best theories don't make me feel any more certain of what we may find. The media dubbed it the Valium Matrix, and we started calling it that too, despite what the agency wanted. Apart from the future, and death itself, I think it's the only real, definite unknown. And the only unknown within our reach. Well, within our reach means we have the technology to get there, and we know what direction we're pointed. But this void is so absolute, it isn't certain how far we have to go. We'll find out when we get there. This project is only happening because of that reason. I think people are expecting us to find something immeasurably important. Something like God, perhaps. I just want to get us there in one piece. I have given up everything that most people hold dear to find out. I have no choice now but to find the answer. And to hope that when we return, there are people here that will remember us and that they will care. I have to lead this crew into oblivion. They have to trust me to get them there. To those that we leave behind, remember us. We are alive in some other time. Our memory is our immortality, I think. And we will be somewhere to remember you. Ship recorders will have most of this on record, but I think I need to articulate the situation. We were ejected from the hexagons yesterday. The system is designed to wake us on some kind of arrival, which is to say, it's hard to know if we're where we're supposed to be. The drive system will halt the ship if there is enough negative inertia to do so, which is not detectable at this stage. So we have no idea if we are still moving. Why not? Because there is nothing detectable outside of the ship, either via instruments or visually. Looking out a viewport is the most frightening and utterly empty feeling I have ever known. It's not something I was prepared for, even with all the psych evaluations. It's like looking into a black mirror. We are utterly alone, and there is no frame of reference, so I think we have arrived. However, the ship's chronometers have stopped. We can't be certain when. They'd need to be working for that to be possible. A system like this has multiple redundancies built in, and the fail-safes are piled on top of each other. They are independent. But they have all stopped. Even the clocks on our personal interfaces have stalled. The system should awaken us in the event of this kind of failure, but we have all agreed that they stopped a long time ago. We're not sure why, but it's just a feeling we all have. The frightening thing is, with this in mind, we have no idea why we were woken. We can't find what triggered the system. It certainly wasn't the clock stopping. There is no data in any system to back that up. I mean, I'm glad we are awake. But why now? Anyway, for the record, the chronometers stopped sometime during the 871st year of ship time. The plan now is for Cheng to take some samples from the exterior of the ship. It means suiting up and really confronting the void. But he's sure that the build-up of debris should be able to tell us how long we've been out here. A bit like carbon dating, I suppose. We'll run some simulations over the next week, providing everything else checks out, and then send him to collect. I will submit a schedule to the system, providing we can get it up and running. Oh, there is one more thing. The external cameras aren't working either. They are positioned all over the outer hull, some on motor arms. We use them for inspecting the outside of the ship. The system shows them as working, but they don't pick up the ship at all. Even with their lamps turned on, it's like the ship isn't here.